And so, thank you so much for staying with us on Millennium Radio this morning. My name is Patricia Chibiliti, and I'm very, very happy to welcome you to the interview radio program this morning. And it's one that I am particularly looking forward to for two reasons. The first reason being is that my guest is Economic Fund President Wynter State Council. And the second is the topic. The topic today is we're going to try and look at the proposed constitutional amendments and see what they hold for Zambians. So I'm excited on two fronts. Thank you for joining us. EF President, welcome and good morning.
Thank you, Patricia, and good morning, dear listeners.
Okay, like I said, today my guest is EF President, but we are not focusing on his party and what is happening within his party or what is not happening in his party. Today we want to talk about a very, very important national issue that is actually topical. It's doing the rounds on social media and all of us have heard about it. The proposed constitutional amendments. Last week, the week before, Justice Minister Kasune did present to Parliament 13 thematic areas around the Constitution. And these are proposals that the UPND government wants to bring to Parliament in the shortest possible time so that as we go into the 2026 elections, these have become part of the Constitution. And so my first question to my guests is this. The timing. No, first of all, let me take you back a bit. First of all, we had rumors. No, the UPND are doing constitutional mingalato. And the answer was no, we are not. No, we've heard rumors of some changes. No, we haven't done anything. And then, oh, no, yes, actually we have, and we're going to tell you about it. So when we just begin with that scenario where we're talking about the Constitution amendment, such an important thing, and then we begin with truths and half-truths and lies and innuendos and so on and so forth, how does that affect the whole program that is going to be discussed?
Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you, Patricia. I think the way to approach this discussion is to give it a historical context. Because then we'll not be dealing with what is happening now in isolation. What is happening now is rooted in the history of this country in terms of, the whole ghost called the constitutional making process. I actually call it a ghost, which we need to exorcise from this society.
Okay.
Now, let's go back to 1964. I want to make the following points first, and I'll follow them up as we discuss. Firstly and foremost, the Zambian people have never, since 1964, given themselves a constitution. The Zambian people have never given themselves a constitution. The constitutions that have been running since 1964 have been given to the Zambian people by those that are in power. That's a very fundamental point to make. The second thing, because of that, all the attempts to make a constitution that will stand the test of time, as the phrase goes, have failed because they have lacked the support of the people and the consensus amongst the stakeholders. The third one is that because of lack of consensus, because of lack of support from the people have always held the view, rightly or wrongly, that those that are driving the constitutional making process are doing it in bad faith. They're not doing it in their interest. It doesn't matter what you are going to say, but the Zambian people have believed that this process has always been done in bad faith. Now let's go back to these areas I raised. In 1964, Kaunda and the team went to the Lancaster House in London. They were given a constitution by the British, who were then in power, the power that be. If you want independence, here is the constitution. The poor guys wanted the independence. The fellows wanted their people to govern themselves. So they didn't even have the time to question
what they were being given,
what that document was all about. So it was never a Zambian people-driven constitution. In 1972, KK establishes the Chona Commission, which went round to ask one fundamental question amongst all the submissions. Do you want Zambia to be a one-party state government? And the overwhelming response from the Zambian people was a big no, N-O. Against that big no, KK in 1973 passes a constitution which in Article 4 provided that there shall be only one political party. Didn't mention UNIP, but after he banned all the other political parties, UPP, PPP, Kapwepwe, Mundia, Michelo, and everybody else, UNIP remained as the only political party. And hence, the presumption was that when Article 4 said there shall be only one political party, that political party meant UNIP. That constitution was operational up to 1991. In 1989, KK appoints the Mvunga Constitutional Review Commission, which was intended to bring about a multi-party constitution, or to provide for a multi-party dispensation. The Mvunga Constitutional Review Commission did not complete its work because of the groundswell of the birth of MMD, which only ended up again in a piecemeal amendment of the Constitution. Article 4 was repealed. So now, Zambia could have more than one political party. Because the term of office for Kaunda was cut short by 2 years, it was agreed that the issue of the constitution be shelved, to be dealt with, once we have resolved this issue of multi-partyism. The MMD, during their campaign in 1991, they promised the Zambian people, we are going to repeal this constitution. Repeal meaning, chizachi ngamba ichi, chizachi shoka, and give you a completely
Tiambe
vinango, so that you, the Zambian people, now can say for yourselves what constitution should govern us, what type of society do we want. When MMD came to power, Chiluba appoints the Mwanawasa Constitutional Review Commission with the view that it will end up in a repealed constitution. That didn't happen. We had an amendment, a constitution of 1996, with an amendment which barred Kaunda from standing. So again, it was a document not from the people, but from those in power, given to the Zambian people. The issue of Kaunda being barred from standing did not come from the people. It came from the MMD as a ruling clique. So the Zambian people were exasperated. What is this? We thought that we are starting afresh with this new team in whom they had so much faith that MMD was going to bring about fundamental changes, including that of the constitution. In 2006, Levy Mwanawasa says, oh, Chiluba didn't do a good job. MMD didn't do a good job. We are having a second bite at this process. He appoints the Mungomba Constitutional Review Commission, in which I was a member. I just resigned for personal reasons.
Okay, so we're going to a break in about a minute's time, so you need to wrap that thought.
Yeah. So that again, wrap it up, ended up only, no, the Mungomba Constitutional Review Commission, when it was submitted its report, Levy said, I'm not going to proceed with this, I'll subject it to a national constitutional conference. Like a constitutional assembly, which was the NCC.
Yes.
We know what happened to the NCC. It collapsed.
Yes.
So Levy's idea was never realized. PF starts campaigning. What does my old chap Michael Sata say? If you elected me, I'm going to give you a constitution within 90 days. New constitution.
We remember that promise.
Within 90 days. And Michael Sata's idea was, the Zambian people have said it all from 1973. So there's no need for us to go back and ask them. We just go back to
all these various
submissions and say, this is what they said about this, this is what they condense that, and give them, repeal this constitution, and give them a brand new constitution based on what they themselves have said.
Okay, so just at that point of Michael Sata, may his soul rest in peace, we'll take a break for the headlines. When we come back, we continue this discussion and we move very quickly to the 2025 proposed amendments. Stay with us.